We are back on page 130. That's where we were on Tuesday when we were talking. Section 6, and I would just want to review what we should have done so far. Section 6, 6A, should have been completed and labeled. Please make sure that it's labeled. 6B, I said I do not want to do because I don't want us to learn right now about averaging and then turning that into a mixed number fraction. What we have learned is that averages are literally a whole number and taken from a group of numbers and divided from. So I want to leave that as is. All right, section 7, that was improper fractions that we converted into either a whole number or a mixed number fraction, and that should be complete. That should be completed. Section 8, complete all. They're asking us to reduce or simplify the fractions with, I hope everybody's saying this out loud, the GCF, oh hello, the GCF or the greatest common factor, okay? So we're not just looking for a factor, but we're looking for the greatest common factor. Okay? So we're looking for the greatest common factor. So, and everybody should just zink right off the top of your head. 5/25, the greatest common factor should be what? 5. Very good. And this is exactly how I want to see it done. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then we can say that 1/5 is bink. I hope everybody is doing a huge shout out at home. That 1/5 is equivalent to 5/25. Okay? Excellent. Because we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions and parts of fractions and all sorts of fun other fractional things, or should I say fractional parts maybe, next week when we start looking at I know it and that whole sets of fractions. Yes, we are going back over addition. Yes, we are subtracting across zeros starting next week as well. It's just great refreshers as we're moving towards the end of the year. All right, section 9. So section 8, complete all for me, please. Okay, complete all. All right, section 9. I want to do one together. This is also a complete all. Okay. Now, these should be your factors in numerical order. Okay, when I say numerical order, we're going up through our number line. So we've got I'm so irritated at myself because all my awesome number lines are at school. That's not going to help us now, is it? But we should have them in sequential or numerical order, okay? When they're talking about with our directions, write the factors for these numbers. Okay, so here we are, we're looking at 32. And we're just kind of thinking about it in our mind. Well, the first thing we can do is we know that there are two factors right off the bat that can help us out, and that is 1 and itself, or 1 times 32. So I'm going to put 1 right down here and 32 at the end because I'm putting these in numerical order and 1 comes first and we know that 32 is going to be last. Okay, so let's think in our mind what would come next. Is 2 a factor? Well, 2 could be a factor of 32. 2 times what? It's not 2 times 12, that's 24. 2 times, I'm hoping someone at home is doing a huge shout out and saying, oh my gosh, Mrs. Shelton, it's 16. Well, correctamundo, okay? Notice how I'm going from here, the least, and here on this end, the greatest, okay? So least to greatest is what I'm doing. I love that terminology. It's great mathematical terminology that we're using this morning. Everybody's using that together. Okay, next one. Well, what's our next 2 factors? We use these all the time. For all of my friends with our times tables, Mrs. Snowman stood on a chair. I hope everybody's doing a huge shout out for that one, or 4 times 8. Okay, I hope this helps. Use this as a guide as you're going along and setting up your factors. Make sure you are accurate. I am checking on this, especially this section because we went over it. So the only 2 sections, only 2 that you are completing today, do not go ahead, please. Section 8, complete all. Section 9, complete all. And everything else should be completed then, okay? Now, I'm going to write this as well, but you, after you get done with this, you are going into MobyMax, and you are to do 8 minutes of fact fluency. Can you do more? Sure. Okay. Now, do I want you to do 20 minutes of fact fluency? No. But if you do 9 or 10 minutes, that's great. That's great. You've gone over that 8 allotment. Can you do 3 minutes of fact fluency? No. Can you do 4 minutes of fact fluency? No. It has to be 8 minutes. Okay, it's giving that window of opportunity for Mrs. Shelton to see what you can do. It's moving that computerized program along so it can fact check how you're doing on your fluency as well, how fast you are going, how well you know those math facts. So 8 minutes of MobyMax fact fluency for me, okay?